Debbie and Lauren Z. We're back with our Pulling Back the Curtain series. So today, as always, we've got Lauren Skutowitz, my business partner here. We've also got a fabulous guest. She is my personal lender. She's helped me now with 2 homes, and I highly recommend her because I think she's just one of the best in the business, so professional, so caring, and really wants you to understand the process. So that's why we've got her here today. This is Debbie Bennett with Angel Oak Home Loans.
Hi.
Hey, Debbie. All right, so we have some important questions today. There's a lot that's on a buyer's mind and on a seller's mind right now in regard to real estate, what the current state of the market is, and what we can anticipate moving forward closer to a vaccine being distributed to everyone. So some questions we have for Debbie today. What do you anticipate once we get these vaccines out, and what do you think that's going to really do to interest rates, and how do you see that playing out in the real estate world?
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. So on the vaccines are getting distributed right now. The problem that they're having is they're not getting distributed as fast as the cases are rising. So that's creating a little turmoil in the market. The vaccine's going to be good for equities and stocks. Which typically, will pull from the bond market, meaning that it would push rates up. I do think that the bond market is going to stay, in a good spot. We're still at all-time lows with that, but I do think that rates are going to slowly go up. Right now, the Fed is keeping rates low on purpose because we're trying to get, some of this stimulus out to people who are in need of it. And then I think it's going to take time for the economy to recover. So I think they're going to go up, but they're going to go up on a slower scale. We might see some spikes just based on what's happening in the market on a specific day or during a specific time. But I think overall it's going to be a slow, steady incline.
Sure. So what are the rates currently that you are seeing right now today? If somebody was out there and they say, hey, Lauren, I need to buy a house, what can I anticipate in regard to 30-year fixed and then a 15-year as well? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so a 30-year fixed, so it's probably going to be somewhere in that 2.75 to 2.875 range, just given credit score, down payment. There's other factors that go into it, but that would just be a very, high level rate. On the 15-year, I have seen those in the last day or two. We've had a little increase the last couple of days. So I've seen those between 2.375 and 2.5. Depending on the parameters.
Okay.
And if we have buyers who think that they are going to be ready to purchase this spring and summer, do you recommend that they go ahead and reach out to you to get pre-qualified?
Absolutely. I think it's always a good time to have that preliminary conversation. A couple of things. I think most lenders will want to get your information and want to pull your credit right away. I'd like to work the way the client would like to work. So if they're not quite ready for that, say they're buying in, or their plan is to buy in 6 months, then let's have that preliminary conversation. Let's get some numbers run so that you all can get them on a search. We all know that inventory is low. So if you all can put them on the search and we can get them positioned that in the event the right property comes along a little sooner than later, then we're ready to go and we can get them, y'all ready to make an offer right away because we all know time's of the essence at the moment. So.
Yep. And with rates starting to increase, at what point in the process can they lock in their interest rate with you?
So that's a great question too. The rate is tied to the property address. So once they are under contract, we'll lock in the rate. We do underwrite clients if they're, if we're in competitive situations or if we're on a time constraint, we will get a client underwritten so they're ready to go. So as soon as they get under contract, we'll lock that rate in and lock it in the appropriate time frame for when they're closing.
Great.
Yes, which I think is really important. So Lauren and I both have a lot of clients that have reached out to us saying, hey, we want to buy, but we kind of want to sit and see what happens in the spring market. Well, guess what, folks? You're not alone. So if you think it's a competitive market right now, wait until the spring when everyone's waiting. The biggest thing is we're not pressure cookers. We just like to keep it very honest and transparent with our clients. And if you don't have these conversations with someone like Debbie, or if you have another lender that you want to use, we don't recommend them. But, it's just important. You've got to know what's comfortable for your budget. You've got to know what your monthly payments are that feel good to you. And there's no better way to do that than speaking with somebody who's really going to take care of you and let you understand the process, what your rate's going to be, and all the different financial, things that can and cannot happen in the process. So, we think it's a vitally important step and something that we recommend to every single one of our buyer clients. I think the last thing would be, Debbie, if you were thinking of buying a house and you understand it's low inventory and all of that, when would you start talking to someone? Do you say immediately and then know that you've got that buying power ready to go, and then touch on the underwriting component of it as well and how that can really give some teeth to the offer in this competitive market?
Yes, if I were personally going to be purchasing at the moment, I would definitely get, you either have the conversation or we can do an application and not pull credit right away, but just at least have everything in so we know that all the factors that go into qualifying have been touched on. So we can talk about, down payment. We can talk about what assets are available. We can talk about closing costs. We can talk about debt to income, everything you need to know that you're in a good position to purchase. I definitely would take those steps ahead of time, no matter whether you're thinking about closing or buying a house right now or even in the next year. That way, like we said, we can get you all doing your part. If you're going to buy something sooner than later, if you want to go ahead and go through the underwriting process so that you as the borrower have been underwritten, we can do that. And then that way there is no question. You all have some more negotiating power when you go to the listing agent. And if it's between your client and another buyer that's coming for the same property, if your buyer's already been underwritten, that gives just another level of comfort for the seller in the market. So I would suggest it. I would do it myself. And I think having the conversations with whoever is going to be your lender, or if you want to have a conversation with a couple of lenders, go ahead and do that up front and settle in on who you want to work with. My clients that I work with that need a little more time to purchase, they may find homes and want to run numbers on them. That's what we're here for, is to answer those questions, make sure they have all the information, because no financial surprise is ever really a good surprise. So we want to make sure we're lined up and ready to go from the beginning.
We like fun surprises like cake and balloons, not surprises.
Yes, no.
Okay, well, this has been really important, I think, for the consumer to understand, what they need to do to be best prepared. I love the idea of having, those buyers that already they know they want to go ahead and go through underwriting. That is amazing. So Lauren and I both know it is a competitive market. She and I both know the tactics to get you that property, even when there are multiple offers. One of the best things, though, is if you go ahead and do the underwriting process, that will speak such volumes to a seller. And the biggest fear on a seller's mind right now is, are these buyers going to close? And if we can say, hey, guess what? I've already gone through underwriting, good to go, then they will definitely see the value in your offer. So important information. We appreciate it, Debbie. And as always, we love you. We trust you. And we look forward to doing more business together with you this year.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.